Well, good afternoon, everybody. How's things? It's a little bit chilly over here today, a bit dull, but not to worry. We're all indoors, all busy as ever, which is lovely. And thanks to everybody out there for, supporting us and keeping the business going. So, okay, where are we at today? 309, or I think it's 309. And I'm sure somebody's going to put me right if it's not. I've at least got the right date in and the right year, so that's all good, isn't it? So what are we going to be doing today? Okay, I do have my regular tile. I have got, here we go, a little bit of ink on it. And I've got a little bit, it's a little bit scruffy around the edges, but I want it a little bit rough. I'm going to have a bit of blue at the top, and I've got this sort of, almost looks sort of foliage-like at the bottom there. So that I quite like that. I've got my regular pen, pencil, touch on. Don't think I'll probably need my white today, but I do have some coloured pencils with me as well. So everything ready to go if you are. All right, so, okay. I think I'm going to start today with pencil, because, of course, we can always rub this out, assuming I've got a rubber. Yeah, I've got a rubber. And, we can go from there. So this I'm going to have as the bottom. I want a little bit of blue up above there. So, to help me draw this, and again, it's always easier, isn't it, if you sketch it a little bit first, if you want to. I'm going to come on in and draw something this way, because what I want to do is I want to create a curve. So from here, sort of along, just do it lightly. It's just going to give you a little bit of something to get going with. And then I'm going to do a bubble on the end. And remember, if you've inked the background, if you've used regular ink pads, when you put a rubber on it, it might rub away some of the colour. So that's why I'm doing it lightly. Okay, quite a long one there. Which is why this way I find it easier to draw them. You might find it another way, but that's absolutely fine. Okay. So I'm going to turn it back that way now. I want to do a couple more in here. So let's bring one out here. Not too big this time. Let's keep it a little bit smaller. Actually, I'm going to go wider a bit there, you see. Beauty of having pencil. There we go. Hi there, everybody. It's lovely to have everybody with me again. Here we go. There you are. See, I've got one there like that. And then I'm going to do another one sort of coming out here. There you go. So we've got that sort of giving us a little bit of a curve there. And then, of course, let's bring it back. And I want to do another two, but I don't want it completely level there. So let's bring one in here. I can go a little bit bigger around there. There we go. And then perhaps another one here. Hello, Maureen. I did sort your tiles out. So all ready now. All ready for printing. There we go. So you've got something like that. It could bring another one in, but I think I'm going to add a little bit extra there. Once you're happy with that, do you know what? Good to go. We're going to draw it in with pen. Okay. So first of all, going to sort of bring that round. So round we go, and of course you can make little amendments if you need to whilst you're going around here. I find it easy going around the shape that way, and then I can bring that back down. Okay. Oh, okay, so I've not looked at a lot of messages. I know there's a lot of emails as well I've not managed to get to. I will do. I've been a little bit busy getting book 10 sorted, and of course, as you know, we had all our orders from Christmas and New Year hit all on the same day. Ooh. So we've been a little bit crazy getting everything packed. We've actually now packed over 1,000 orders this week, this last week just gone, since last Tuesday. So we've been really busy, and once our courier arrives, the last of them will be gone and out the door. So if you've not had a message yet saying that your parcel or your order has been dispatched, you will get one today, because everything then is out. So I do apologise, there's been a bit of a delay, but as you can imagine, we've been a bit crazy busy here, but they're all out and on their way now. And then of course, if you ordered the quilts pattern, you know that there's a link to a different Facebook group, as we're going to be doing the quilt from scratch all together as a series of videos. So if you ordered that, you'll get a link in the page, sort of actually on the instructions, and I will be putting them on the website as a download. So if you still want to sort of take part in that, then it's something, you know, something worth doing, and I'll be on that as soon as I've got book 10 finalised, which is, it's almost there. I will get onto that, and I know there's some things need to go on the website, so just a little bit of patience, we'll get there. Oh, Louise, Charlotte, yes we have, but do you know what, it's worth it. And you know, we work for you guys, you're the ones that use our products, so it's nice to have. You notice I've added some bubbles in, by the way. I think I'm going to add a few in here too, so I'm going to bring that round, sort of work my way around there. I'm not going to go all the way around, I'm going to get a little bit smaller. There we go. And then just sort of adding in a little bit of ink if I've got any gaps. So we might as well, while we're here, Christine, I know I have been inundated with messages about parcels and things. I say I could have spent a whole morning answering them, or it was better just to get on with them. So that's what we've done. We've been as efficient as we can be in getting things out, so should ease off a little bit now. So all sorted. It was just an issue with the warehouse at Hobby Maker and them dispatching certain parts of the orders and us dispatching the other part. That was all. But sorted now, and it won't happen again because we know how it was done. So there we go. All right, there we are. Lovely little base to sit on there. Okay, so again, I'm going to start at this side, but if you want to, you can start at this side. I'm going to work my way across. So here we go. Just going to put in a little line. There we go. And I'm going to do another, but I'm going to go real fine next to it like that. There you go. All right. Okay. Oh, hello, Nikki. Nice to have you joining this madhouse. No, it's a nice group of people, it really is. So I'm going to come up and just put a little curve at the top like that. And up and along, so you've got this sort of little V shape sticking out. Okay, I'm going to go a bit bigger now so you can see what I'm doing there. Okay. So again, it doesn't matter which side we start with. I'm going to start and create a bit of a curve here, but I'm going to go in first and out. Then same again, in and out. And again, if you would rather do this in pencil, that's absolutely fine. But I do encourage you to try and just go straight in if you can with pen. There we are. And then along, I'm just going to do, see this line here, I'm going to bring another one there. And then bring that down and in. And then this one here, another one there. I'm going to put a couple of little flicks in the bottom there. And then just sort of along the base of this little stem, we're going to put a little loop on this side, little loop. And then a little bit down there. There we go, little dots. See, line down the middle and little dots. Okay. So let's move out a little bit. See, that's sort of sat there on its own at the minute. So I want to bring in another one. So let's go about here. And quite thin. There we go. So then maybe let's do a few more of these lines so we can see where we're headed. I'm going to put one on there. Then let's have one a little bit closer here. Quite narrow. Okay, I'm going to start with that. Okay, so let's move back in so we can see what we're doing again. So from the top I did a slight curve, Oh, thank you. Yeah, the tile yesterday was lovely, wasn't it? It was a real sweet one that we did on Crafting Together with All Brands. So if you didn't sort of pick that one up, there's an extra one there if you want it. Okay, so you see this line here? Let's put that one there. And then bring that swooping back down. And then this one goes there. Swooping down. And again, I'm just going to put a few little... So you see that's come out a little bit further than that one, so I could probably a couple in there as well. And up and along. You see, and then little dots. And then another one. Little dots. Now this one, yeah, you see that it's going to be a bit taller than this one. That's what we want. We don't want them all same height. We want to give it a little bit of a change. So here we are, look, that little V again. And then we're going down and out. Down and out. And then we wanted a little shape in the middle there. And then this line again, out and in. Out and in. We could actually extend it and you could have more if you wanted to, but we've sort of got them all growing at the same rate, so I'm keeping them similar today, but of course you can change that. And then in with this one, see, little dots. Oh, lovely, aren't they, all in a little row? Let's put this one in then. So again, it's lower than the others. That's what we want. We don't want them all the same. And remember, a little kink and out. Kink and out. And along and in. Oh, don't forget the V in the middle. And in. As long as you don't forget, you could put that in last if you wanted to. It doesn't matter. And again, let's put these lips. See, that one is going to fall behind that. Yours might not. So I think, yeah, I'm going to put another one in here. And again, looking at our heights, what am I going to do? So it sort of needs to be about sort of coming up here, doesn't it? So let's bring that stem in again. Another, nice and thin. And then up and out. You see a little curve there. And then back down and out. Let's put that to a point. Down and out. A little shape there. And then again, adding those little shapes in there. And let's have some little flicks in the bottom. So again, little loops and loops. Okay, so we've got this lovely little row in. So yes, I have just waiting on a few things, so they're going to be a little bit later in the year, parchment. I say later in a couple of months or so. We're on it. We're on it. Okay, so here we go. Again, it doesn't matter where you start. We're going to do this sort of all over. So I think actually before we do that, let's just come back into these little flowers. I want to put a couple of little dots in there. You see where these flicks are? Sort of extend a couple little dots in. Don't have to have the same amount. So you can have a couple on there as well. And then same with this one. Just sort of use those little flicks as a bit of a guide. They're just going to get smaller as they go up. Same with this. It's nice to do this as you go in, but sometimes it's nice to come back as well and add these bits in. Okay. You see, just those little dots. You notice I've not done them in the middle. I've just added them on the outside. Oh, Sue, book 10 is out on Friday. Oh, not long to wait. Couple there, maybe. Alright, little dots there. So let's have a look at this one here. I'm just going to move out a little bit and I'm going to create sort of a bit of a curve around the shape. You see I've gone around, over. Now this is going to go under and back up here. And let's bring another along here. Maybe one here, look. And there. Then up here. So we've got a few of these little lines coming off. Okay. So again, I'm going to come in so you can see what I'm going to be doing there. We'll do a couple and I'll show you what I'm doing with the whole thing. So I'm going to put a little shape on the end. And then another one that side. One here. And one there. Okay. And then I'm going to add sort of just a little bubble on the top there. A little part bubble. Just fill it in. A little bud. And then I'm just going to flick out a few lines. Now of course you could do this in a different colour if you wanted to. Gives it a little bit of interest. There we go. So let's have a little look at that. So we've got sort of little thistle-like kind of shapes. Oh, jacket is, isn't it? It's lovely. I'm loving these pens. So again, you might want to sort of go in and put these little shapes in all around first. I think I'm going to do this one, and I'm going to have a look at where else on the others I can put that. Okay. So sort of adding that little bubble on the top there. There we are. Just that little hint of black, nothing much. And again, let's flick in those little lines there. There we go. So following it round each one. And you don't have to do, I think I've started counting 4 now, you don't have to do 4. You can do as many as it needs, so I've not counted anything specific there. Just sort of work your way around. There we go. Let's have a little look at that. There we are. So you feel, no, maybe it needs one there, but let's do the rest and then we can always come back and add if we need to. So again, starting with the stem, you can do it this way if you like. See, I've gone over and then that'll go under there. And then this one's going to sort of come up and out here. Let's bring one that way. So you can fill in gaps where you've got them and according to where you want them to be. So there's no real plan with it. It's about putting them in where you think. See, this time I'm going to do that little space and put the little bobble on the end as well. I'll do that at the same time, see if I like that any better. Let's see, just little bobbles, just sort of going on both sides just to give you that little bit of a variation. So. Oh, Sue, that's a good idea, straight into your diary. I think it's good. There's space to do them, so. But I didn't want to give you too much space this year that all she did was tangling and you didn't do anything in your diary. It's got to have, I think, have a purpose. It does mean you can add pages to it if you want, certainly with it being a binder now. So I think this is quite nice. Okay, so let's have a look at this next one. I'm not looking at these on purpose because it's all about just this one, and I'm not trying to repeat it or do the same thing each time. It's about you going in and doing what you think for that particular flower. There you are. And again, let's put these little V's and those. I think actually I quite like doing those shapes first and then coming back doing the little bobbly shapes afterwards. There we go. So again, you know, look at your tile and think about where you want to put these little shapes. You can have lots and lots, or you can have just a few, whatever you want to do. And then again, just adding in those little lines. I'm going to do 5 in a minute on purpose. Yeah, you don't have to have 4. It's however many. I'm doing 5 now, look. However many you sort of fit on your little piece there. Okay, let's do this one then. Swirl it round the stem and then up, in. A few of those, maybe one sort of going out there. They're really nice to draw, I think, once you get the flow of these sort of waves and things. It's nice to add them to it. Sort of keep it going that way. Again, bobbles on the end. Just having that little bit of extra dimension there. And then back in. And don't count them. We're not after the same amount, particulars. Just whatever you feel it needs. A few over there, look. Quite nice to do that, isn't it? Just that little bit of a flicking kind of design going on there. Alright, last one. There we go. See, that one's going to head up there. So let's direct it that way. Just want it to sort of, well, it's almost like falling over there.
Tea time.
Oh, thank you, Leslie.
Afternoon, everyone.
She is. Keeping me hydrated.
Someone's got to.
I know. I know. Don't particularly make
We
drink.
died of dehydration waiting for you to make a cup of tea.
See, I'm obviously not reading my ALF awareness book, am I? Don't upset the ALF by asking her to make too many cups of tea. Oh, it's funny. Leslie's just shouted at me, Tommy.
Why?
She says I never make cups of tea. Tommy's just laughing. I don't know what that means. Oh, dear me. I mean, you can't get the staff, can you? Put down there, look. There we go. Oh, Vicky, I don't do it anymore. I'd be in the bathroom all the time. I'm out of drinks. Okay. Well, Louise says hello, Tommy.
Hello.
All right, let's bring in a little bit of colour and shading, I think. I'm going to add colour first today. So being that I've got a little sort of hint of reddish down here, let's go in with that kind of a colour. So what do I have? I've got a bit of red, a little bit of orange. See how that goes. Okay. To be honest, Wendy, he probably does, but I pay his wages, so he's not gonna argue the case. They say you probably agree with Leslie.
I'm just doing my job. Can't argue, to be fair.
Yeah. Maureen says, do you remember her?
Yes, I do. What's to do?
Yeah, he says, of course he does. Of course he does. Okay, I'm going to start with the darkest colour just in the bottom there. I'm not going to touch that centre bit. I'm not going to worry too much about blending. Okay. Now I know I've seen a couple of mentions when you're actually blending on cartridge paper or the tiles, which is what we're doing now. It's very, very forgiving. It's very easy to do, and it almost will blend itself. But when you're trying to blend on super smooth paper, you have to sort of work it as layers. So you take your time and you put one colour on, then the next really lightly, and you just build up those colours. Then it works beautifully. If you're finding that it doesn't blend as well as you'd like, just slow down a bit. Just lighten up with the pressure and add a couple of layers rather than one. You'll get used to it, and it's quite a quick process once it's sort of done. Okay, I'm going to bring in, there we go, a lighter orange there, what have I got, or maybe even a goldy colour. And just add a little bit on the top there. See, I'm not going to try and blend this, you know, as smooth. I want that little bit of texture in there. See, I want to see that. Okay. Of course, you're seeing this real close up. So the idea is, once it's a little bit further away, give it a little bit of a finer look. Let's have a look. You see? There we go. And of course, leaving some of it without colour on, it's going to give it a little bit more depth as well, because it's going to leave the tile colour in the background. You see? So I'm going to bring in a darker colour now, and let's have a look. It's probably going to be, oh, I could use any. I'm going to bring in a dark green. There we go. And I'm just going to add a little bit to the bottom there. Alright, see, so I'm just starting from that point, making it round the piece. See? And then I'm going to take it up into that centre there. See? Oh, and into the centre. Okay. And I'm going to bring it down just a little bit onto the stems. Now if you're using a regular pencil, you're going to soften this out. You would still put that in exactly the same place and use your tortillon to sort of work that out. Okay, but if using these, one thing we can do is we can bring in a white pencil. I'm not bringing my chalk pencil in because I'm actually using coloured pencils. If it was just a regular pencil, fine. But you see, just my white, so I just touch that at the top, you see, because I'm working on that cartridge paper, it's a real good quality, it's just going to blend, it's just going to do it. There you go. See, it gives it that little bit of a hint. Just pull that down the stems there, and then a little bit at the bottom of these leaves as well. So again, I'm not trying to colour it in, just adding that little bit of a hint there. See? Okay, let's have a look at that. Okay, and again, if I bring that white pencil in, I'm just going to ever so gently just sort of work my way over the ends of that green, just a little bit. I don't want it to sort of cover everything. It's just sort of softening that edge up a little bit, almost like it's just, you know, burnishing it, really. Okay, there we go. So I want to have a look now at these little bits here. Now we've got that tiny little bit of a V shape that we did, or a little triangle. If you can come in and add in a little bit. Again, just make sure your pencil's sharp. We're not trying to colour, just adding a touch in there. See, so working my way around. There you go. Just adds that little hint of something. There we go. changes it up a little bit, doesn't it? Because that red is just going to give it a little bit of a pop in there. Okay, there we go. Let's have a look at that. So I'm going to sort of stick with the green. You see all these little bubbles? I'm going to add a little bit. Oh, let's go a bit bigger, I do apologise. There we go. Just a little bit along there. You see, just one side. Now, you don't have to do the same side as me. You can do the other side if you're more comfortable with that. And there. Sort of work them round. And same on all of them. Well, you could colour them with a gel pen, couldn't you, if you wanted to? See, some of those larger ones, I'm going to bring in that white. See, just sort of ease off the harsh edge. And again, if you want to spend a little bit more time over them, you could use 2 or 3 colours if they're a little bit bigger. But it's going to work with those. Okay, let's have a little look at that. Alright. So I'm going to bring my regular pencil in now, just for a little bit more shading. And the first thing I'm going to do, just ever so gently, because you can build this as well, let's add a little bit onto each of these little bubble shapes, sort of end shapes there, okay? And then if I turn it round, I want to add some underneath. I'll follow the bubbles, just to about, there we go, and then a little bit there, into the bubbles, a bit under there. Okay, and let's just add just a little bit underneath. Oh, let's go a bit bigger so you can see that. There you go. Just a little bit, like let's do under there, underneath those leaves. You see, I'm just pulling it out a bit, pulling it out a bit. Not too much. Oh, thank you, Lynn. Let's bring that tortilla out. So again, if you've not done this before, I'm not holding it like the pencil now. I'm holding it with just my finger and thumb, and it's a more shallow angle. See, I've just got that underneath to support. Let's just move that out so you can see. There you go, look. See? What I'm going to do is very gently just soften the edges of those bits of pencil I've put in there. Very little pressure, because all we're doing is just sort of softening up those hard edges of that pencil. You see? Let's do the leaves first. See, just sort of moving it to nothing almost, just blending it into that background. And then the bubbles, just going to very gently, let's go a bit bigger so you can see it. See, very gently, just sort of swirl it round, pick it down there a little bit. You want to leave little bits of the original tile, the white, behind. It just gives it that little bit of 3 dimensions. There we go. So, round we go. And then, of course, any of these little bits underneath. So I'm going to turn it that way just because that's easier that way for me. Just fill it in. Soften it out. See, that's quite a hard edge, and I want to go a little bit softer. So if I swirl it, oh, I think Lynn, I think you need to volunteer just to try it on parchment and see what happens. See, work it round very gently. There you go. Just taking your time. And of course you could have this on a larger tile. You could do just a single flower if you wanted to. Let's have a look at that. Okay, so you see we've got this sort of shadow going on. Where you've got these little pieces, just come that one in with your tortillon and you can add a little bit. You've got plenty of graphite on there. See what it's doing? Parchment draining. Just try it. What can go wrong? It's just a bit of parchment. See, just adding a little bit of a line underneath just to give that a bit of shadow. And I've not used any pencil at all because say there's plenty on my tortillon. It's going to do this anyway. Let's do it as well on here. See, just a little bit of shading there. Just gives it that little bit of something to it at the top there. There we go. Right, so let's have a look at this. Wow, I'm just going to come back in with my black pen and looking at our swirl here, just on the underside where that shadow is. I'm going to come back in and draw in that line, you see. Again, just where I've added that shading, I'm going to come back in. A bit there. Just brings it out a little bit more. Just a bit there, a bit there. And just on the underside of those little leaf shapes, just where we've put that shadow, we come back in and just add in that little bit of black in there. So you can even do it there. Look where it's going over the top of that one. And into this one. Okay, let's have a look at that. There we go. So last thing to do with this is a little bit of a signature. I think I'm going to put it here today. Just a little monogram in there, and there you go. Today's tile all done and sorted. So whether you decide you want to have a little bit of colour on it, whether you want to do it monochrome or in parchment lid, or maybe you want to do it on a dark tile with a white pen, that could look quite nice too. It's entirely up to you. So all yours. Now, one thing I will say is Friday's tile, we're going to move it to Thursday because of course I'm over in Redditch. I'm not a hobby maker on Friday, so I just wanted to make sure that we got the time it deserves. So if you're up for it, tile number 310 won't be Friday, it'll be Thursday, 2 o'clock as normal, but of course it's just a day before. If you forget, don't matter, it's still going to be there, you can catch up with it. So have fun with this one, look forward to see what you're going to do with this one, and I will see you all again on Thursday. Have fun everybody, bye.